Welcome to Voices of MCU, where we delve into the depths of wisdom and spirituality. Get ready as we embark on a journey of fostering faith and cultivating leaders. And now it's time for Leadership Unleashed with Dr. John Ughulu, where purpose, faith, and leadership meet.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to this very insightful session on building a culture of innovation. Now, today we will explore the principles of fostering innovation within organizations and communities. We are also going to look into, you know, principles of fostering innovation within your own space. It could be even in your family life, in your family space. So we will draw inspiration from biblical stories, which is typical, and we would also draw inspiration from the wisdom of great leaders who have significantly impacted our world. Now, this teaching aims to be both inspirational and practical. It would also provide you with actionable insights that you can implement in your personal and professional lives. But before I delve into today's topic, I want to take a moment to thank our listeners, you who's listening to us right now, and also to extend a special invitation to potential sponsors. Now, the Leadership Unleashed podcast series is made possible by generous support of individuals and organizations who believe in the power of transformative leadership. So if you or your organization are interested in sponsoring this podcast and also reaching a dedicated audience of leaders, innovators, and change makers, we would love to hear from you. All right. We would love to hear from you. So, your sponsorship not only helps us to continue to provide value, but also aligns your own brand with the values of leadership excellence and innovation. Now, here's a word about our esteemed partner sponsor, which is Main Seed Christian University. You know, without Main Seed Christian University, this program would not be airing right now. So at Main Seed Christian University, we are committed to developing leaders who are grounded in faith, integrity, and a passion for service. Our university offers a wide range of programs designed to equip students with knowledge, skills, ethical foundation needed to lead in various fields. So, whether you are interested in business, leadership, or ministry, Main Seed Christian University provides a supportive and intellectually stimulating environment where you can grow and thrive. So you can visit us at www.mainseeduniversity.com to learn more about our institution. Now, thank you for joining us on this episode of Leadership Unleashed. We hope you find our discussions insightful and inspiring. Remember, leadership is a journey, and we are here to walk that path with you. So, welcome once again to Leadership Unleashed. If you are just joining me for the very first time, I really do appreciate you. I want you to please remember to like and share this broadcast. Like and share it. And here's the reason why. Because you might just be impacting the life of that one person who has been waiting for a lifetime to hear the message. Like and share it. So we're talking today about building a culture of innovation. Now I have a degree in entrepreneurship, and when it comes to entrepreneurship, it involves a lot of innovation. right? A lot of innovation. You're constantly thinking. And that's the mindset that every leader should have. It doesn't matter if you are a leader of an organization, a religious leader, a political leader, a leader in your home. Innovation is paramount. So let me ask you this question. You who's listening to me right now, when you hear the word innovation, what comes to mind? What are your thoughts? And I was able to do my own research. And in the process of doing research, I came up with a definition of the word innovation. In academia, we always like to teach people what the meaning of words are before we, go into the whole teaching process so that you can know exactly what you're looking at. So, in my own way, innovation is the process. I want you to write this down. Please write this down. Grab a pen and notepad, write down, you know, take down as much information as you possibly can. So, innovation is the process of translating an idea. It is a process. It is a process of translating an idea or invention into a good or service that creates value for which customers will pay. Let me repeat it one more time. Innovation is a process of translating an idea or invention into a good or service that creates value for which customers will pay. What does it mean? It means it is a process. Innovation is a process. I have my rule of five. There are five things I do every day. It doesn't matter if it's on a holiday, if it's on my birthday, if it's on a Sunday, you know, five things. Five, I call it my rule of five. Five things. The first one is I motivate people. I make sure I motivate people. I make sure I inspire people, which is the second one. I motivate, I inspire. I think, I strategize, and I study. Why do I do that? Because it helps me increase my level of innovation and personal development. So, my definition says innovation is the process, it is a process of translating an idea. We all know as leaders that every good thing in life today was once an idea. So even for you to be on a team that you're leading right now, it was once an idea. So innovation is a process of translating an idea or an invention into a good or service that creates values for which customers will pay. So it involves what? A deliberate application of information, imagination. You must always use your imagination, and initiative to derive greater or different values from resources. So I want you to take a critical look at it. Innovation includes all processes by which new ideas are generated and converted into useful products. So when you're leading people, you should always know that innovation would include the process by which that idea that will be presented to the team will be taken from wherever it is to where you want it to be. So innovation is key. So right now, I am talking to aspiring leaders, brand new leaders, and seasoned leaders. And I have a question that I want to ask all of you. It doesn't matter what level of leadership you have attained. And my question is, why build a culture of innovation? Why do you have to build a culture of innovation in your team, in your organization? Why? I want you to think about it for a second. Because a wise man once said, if your why is big enough, you will certainly find your how. I love that quote. If your why is big enough, you will find a how. So, my question once again is, why do you have to build a culture of innovation? Think about it. So, I was able to come up with three reasons why it is important, why it is necessary to build a culture of innovation. And the first one is, I want you to write this down. The first one is sustained growth and competitiveness. Sustained growth and competitiveness. Why am I saying that? Because organizations that innovate are better positioned to grow and remain competitive, right? There was a time I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he said he noticed one thing about me, that I am highly competitive. And I said, yes, I am, because I am someone who aspires to grow all the time. Growth is part of my daily assignment. But there is a difference between a healthy competition and a competition that is not healthy. So your competitiveness should be towards achieving your organization's vision and mission. So it is important for sustained growth and competitiveness. Organizations that innovate, we all know that the more you think, the more you strategize, the more you come up with ideas on how to take your team to higher heights, the more you come up with strategies, the better things come, the better things become for you, right? The bigger the organization gets, the more you would expand, the more you would get people to love where they work and the work they do. So, secondly, um, another reason for building a culture of innovation is for problem solving. Problem solving. We all know that problems are natural, right? When you hear the word problem or challenge, it shouldn't come as a surprise to you, especially in leadership, because as a leader, you are hired to solve what? Problems. That's one of the major tasks of leadership, to solve problems, to come up with solutions. And that's where innovation comes in. You should be able to do what? To see before others see it. You should be able to see further than what others see. Problem solving. And as a leader, that's what differentiates you from the follower. You see before others, and you see farther than others. So innovation leads to development of new solutions for complex problems. And number three, employee engagement and satisfaction. Now, when you cultivate a culture, build a culture of innovation, it fosters an environment where employees feel valued and motivated. Because as a leader, you're constantly thinking of how to make the people around you productive. You're constantly thinking of how to make the people around you love what they do. You're constantly thinking of how to find out what's going on in their personal lives. You're constantly finding ways to discover their strengths, their weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in your team. So today we will be looking into some biblical foundations of innovation. The Bible has everything that we need to become effective leaders, to become the best leaders, to become world leaders, to become renowned leaders, to become global leaders. I was listening to one of my mentors John Maxwell some days ago, and he talked about being, he talked about a training that he conducted for CEOs, thousands of CEOs from all over the world, and he told them that all the leadership principles that he adopts, being the world's, one of the world's greatest leadership guru. He said all the principles that he teaches about leadership are from the Bible. You who's listening to me right now, do you believe that? And he went further to tell everybody that if they can come up with some leadership principles that has worked for them or that has been working for them, that if they can share those principles with him, he will take them to the Bible, to a page, to a chapter, a verse in the Bible that would show them everything that they're doing. And I strongly believe in that, because there is nothing new on the earth, right? Nothing. So I strongly believe in the biblical principles and biblical foundations of leadership. So today we would explore some biblical foundations of innovation. And one of my, one of my most liked story is the story of Joseph. I like to use Joseph as a reference for leadership. And today we will be looking at Genesis chapter 41, verses 33 to 36. So I want you to write this down, because one of the most profound stories of innovation in the Bible is that of Joseph, no doubt. And here's the reason why. Because this is a man who was sold into slavery by his brothers, and he was also later imprisoned. But what happened? All the predicaments that happened to Joseph, they were just a platform for him to go to the next level. They were there just to help him understand life and to understand the power of God and the power of innovation. But despite all these challenges, Joseph rose to power in Egypt just by doing what? By interpreting Pharaoh's dreams. I remember when I was a very young child. In fact, we practically lived our daily lives based off of our mother's interpretation of her dreams. My mom was a dreamer. Trust me, she still dreams. She goes to bed, sleeps, dreams of, she will dream of what will happen the following day or the next day, or days later, and she would wake up and tell us that dream. She would say, "Hey, my son, this is what I dreamt about, and this is what this dream means." And while she was always doing that with us, she ended up transferring that skill to us. I was also a great dream interpreter. I'm still a great dream interpreter right now, especially now that I am in leadership. It comes in very, very handy for me. And that was what Joseph did. Joseph was interpreting dreams, and he did not deviate from that skill. And just by interpreting dreams, he rose to power in Egypt. And he also devised a strategy to save the nation from famine. How did that happen? Because his innovative plan involved storing surplus grains. At that time, that was unheard of. His innovative plan involved storing surplus grain. during 7 years of abundance so that they could prepare for the next 7 years of scarcity. That's exactly what he did. And this strategy did not only save Egypt, but it also saved the surrounding nations. Now, what's the key takeaway from this story? This story of Joseph teaches us the importance of strategic foresight and planning. Innovation often requires us to anticipate future needs and also to act proactively. I always like to remind people that if you are not proactive, if you are not proactive, you will certainly become what? Reactive. Yes, I want you to think about it. We can also look into the biblical story of Bezaleel. Now, Bezalel's creativity in the tabernacle, I think that can be found in Exodus 31, verses 1 to 5. What happened there? God chose Bezalel, who was a skilled artisan. God chose him. Just the way right now you have been chosen as a leader to lead your team, to lead your community, to lead your organization, to lead your family. God chose Bezalel to craft the tabernacle's intricate designs. Why? And when God chose Bezalel, he was filled with the Spirit of God. And when you are filled with the Spirit of God as a leader, God grants you wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and all kinds of skills that you need to be innovative and creative. That's exactly what happened to Bezalel. God chose him, and he was filled with the Holy Spirit. He was filled with the Spirit of God. And by so doing, God gave him wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and all kinds of skills to create artistic designs. And this divine empowerment enabled him to innovate and create something unprecedented. Now, the key takeaway from this story of Bezalel is that innovation is not only about solving problems, but also about creating beauty and value. It requires a blend of skill, creativity, and inspiration. I want you to write this down. I don't know where you're listening to me from right now, but I want you to write this down, that innovation requires a blend of skill, creativity, and inspiration. Now, let's quickly look into the lessons from one of the world's greatest leader, Steve Jobs. We all know who Steve Jobs is. Steve Jobs was the co-founder of Apple, and a lot of people use Apple these days. He was a visionary leader, and his innovations transformed the technology industry, right? He believed in creating products that were not only functional, but also beautiful and user-friendly. That's what innovation is all about. Trying to be competitive, trying to bring out products or the best in people, trying to bring out what others are not currently doing. That's innovation, entrepreneurship, and innovation, right? He focused not only on functional products, but also on the beauty and user friendliness of the products. And from some of the stories we've heard about him, his relentless pursuit of excellence and his ability to think differently inspired his team to push the boundaries of what was possible. So, what do you do every day to push your team? I want you to think about it. Now, Steve Jobs' leadership underscores the importance of passion, attention to detail, and a relentless pursuit of innovation. I remember he had one very famous quote that says, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." It challenges us to always strive for greatness and not settle for the status quo. Yes, innovation is what separates, what differentiates the leader from the follower. Like I said earlier, as a leader, you see farther than the followers. Not just that, you see before them. So, what makes it possible for you to see before others and to see farther than others? It's because of the innovation, the ability to think as a leader. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what are the steps to building a culture of innovation? What steps do you need to take? What steps as a leader do you need to take to build a culture of innovation? Number one, write this down. You need to foster a growth mindset. Foster a growth mindset. I have been in the midst of people who look down on motivational speakers. When you mention motivational speakers in their presence, it's like all hell has been let loose. You hear them saying all kinds of negative things about them. But you as a leader, you must understand the importance of helping your team members develop a growth mindset. So you have to encourage that. You have to encourage continuous learning. Innovation thrives in environments where failure is seen as a learning opportunity rather than a setback. As a leader, your job is to motivate and inspire your team. So you have to inspire them to get to that level of innovation. Secondly, empower your team. Give your team the autonomy to explore new ideas and solutions. Sometimes it could be hard. Sometimes it could be challenging, especially when you used to be that technical person. You used to be that person who knew it all prior to you getting to leadership. It could be hard to let go. It could be hard to believe in someone else's ideas. But empowerment leads to ownership, and ownership drives innovation. So when your team members are empowered, they would want to do everything to be innovative. Number three, encourage collaboration. What does that mean? Innovation often comes from the intersection of diverse perspectives. Encourage cross-functional collaboration to generate new ideas, because we all have different skills, different strengths, different areas of strength. We all have different levels of commitment. We all have different gifts within us. So encourage collaboration. Okay. And number four, provide resources and support. As a leader, you must heavily invest in tools, trainings, and resources your team needs to innovate. You might be in a small team right now, a small organization where you know, they're probably micromanaging. It's all right. Work with them, but try your best to provide all the tools and resources. It includes time for brainstorming and experimentation. So you must not remove that from the tools and resources. Time for brainstorming, because thinking is a great resource. Thinking is a great tool. Every great thing, invention that we have right now, it was given birth to by thinking, you know. So it's very, very important. Number five, which is the last one, recognize and reward innovation. I was speaking to a friend of mine today, and she asked me if I had received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. And I said, no, I haven't. At this moment, I have not. And she was surprised, like, what? Why haven't you received it? And I said to her that my focus is not to receive accolades. My focus is to empower others. My focus is to make sure that I recognize and reward others who are doing the work. And I said to her that I am just like the tree. Let's use an orange tree, for example. The orange tree bears fruits, but when it bears those fruits, it cannot eat those fruits. The tree itself cannot eat those fruits. At the end of the day, the orange tree bears fruits for others to eat and feel nourished. And I said to her, that's who I am. If those awards come, that's fine. But I have been blessed by God with the platform to present those awards to people who deserve it. And I'm very comfortable there. I have the approval. I have everything it takes to give out the Presidential Lifetime Achievers Award. Yes, I'm approved to do that. And we give that to people who are doing well in the community. But I have not received mine. And she was shocked. I said, yes, that's the type of leadership that I want. So it is very good to recognize and reward innovation. Now, when you celebrate success and recognize individuals and teams who contribute to innovative ideas, look, that way you are boosting their morale. So I want you to think about it. It reinforces importance of innovation within your culture. So think about it as a team leader, political leader, religious leader, it doesn't matter. Remember, number one, foster a growth mindset. Number two, empower your team. Number three, encourage collaboration. Number four, provide resources and support. Number five, recognize and reward innovation. Now, I want us to look into some practical applications. All right? Let's look into some pragmatic applications of creating an innovative environment. Okay? So, what I would suggest you do, you who's listening to me, it doesn't matter if you are an aspiring leader, a brand new leader, or a seasoned leader. I want you to make sure you have spaces for creativity. Okay? You should always have that space. It doesn't matter what part of the office building it is, just create that space for creativity. You know, you should designate physical or virtual spaces where team members can brainstorm and collaborate. You should always have that time, that moment, that space. My office is my space for creativity. When I'm here, I write a lot. I do a lot of writing, right? I write articles, I write research papers, I write books, and I think a lot. So my office is space for creativity. You should have one for your team. Secondly, you should encourage regular brainstorming sessions. Regular brainstorming sessions. Hold regular meetings that are focused solely on generating new ideas. Yes. And thirdly, innovate challenges. All right. Always make sure you have those innovation challenges where you organize competitions or just competitions to stimulate creative thinking. It's very important. So I want you to think about it. I really don't know where you're listening to me from right now, but leadership is a journey. It is a continuous learning process. Now that you are in leadership, understand that it will be a continuous learning process for you and for me and for everybody. All right. Let's look at some applied biblical principles on how to also do this. We're looking at stewardship. You should always encourage your team members to see themselves as stewards of their talents and resources, just like the story of Joseph and Bezaleel. Okay. Secondly, servant leadership. You should lead by serving your team. Lead by serving your team. Do not lead by being a boss. Serve your team. Provide them with the support and encouragement that they need to innovate, just like Jesus. In the book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 45, lead by serving your team, providing them with the support and encouragement they need to innovate, akin to the leadership of Jesus Christ. In conclusion, as a leader, I want you to know that building a culture of innovation is essential for long-term success and impact. And by fostering a growth mindset, empowering your team, encouraging collaboration, providing resources, and recognizing achievements, you can certainly create an environment where innovation flourishes. Now, let us take inspiration from biblical stories and leaders like Steve Jobs to drive the innovation in our organizations and communities. Once again, remember that innovation is not a one-time event, but a continuous journey. So as you as a leader, as you embark on this journey, keep the words of Romans chapter 12, verse 2 in mind. It says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Come on. Embrace the transformative power of innovation and let it drive you to create a better future. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, stay inspired, and let's unleash the leader within you. Until next time, this is Dr. John Ughulu. I am signing off from Leadership Unleashed. So note for sponsors, if you are interested in partnering with us, please reach out to us at info@mainseeduniversity.com. Let's work together to make a lasting impact. God bless you all, and bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today for Voices of MCU. This program and its content is owned by Main Seed Christian University, and we invite you to visit www.mainseeduniversity.com to take full advantage of our low tuition programs. The content of this program is for educational purposes only.